Rama. Hare Hare. Happy Diwali to everyone. And happy Gobardhan. Especially for us here in ISKCON Philadelphia, because the name of our deities is Radha Sharad Bihari. So this is the Sharad season, the fall, the autumn season. So these festivals have extra special meaning. Today the deities have on a brand new outfit. So please take special notice of the altar. As you can see, Gobardhan Hill, over that's offered to the Lord. So we kept that theme going on the altar. Please, if you haven't taken it in at some point tonight, just meditate on the creativity and the artistry of the pujaris that helped decorate the Lord so nicely in their altar. Tonight, we're going to be celebrating Govardhan Hill. We have also with us Govardhan Hill, Giri Govardhan with us on there. Giri Govardhan ki! Yeah. Listen, Gita, what are the names of Kanai Dalji? So we have with us Kanai Dalji from Govardhan Hill. And later on we'll be circumambulating Govardhan Hill. Right now we will be chanting the Damodarastika prayers. And we have ghee lamps during the Damodarastika prayers. We're going to start on the Radha Sharad Bihari side and then come toward Gurni time, so you can line up that way. This will take about 15-20 minutes or so. And then after that, we are very blessed, pleased to have with us His Grace Gobardhan Prabhu. We waited just Wednesday, to be with us here. Now, this is day 2 of a 4-day festival that we're doing. Right? Yesterday was Diwali. We had very sweet kirtan in the temple room. Today, Govardhan Puja. Tomorrow, at Rittenhouse Square, starting at 2 o'clock, we're going to be doing Harinam Sankirtan. So please come out and join us for that. And then on Sunday, we're going to be honoring the legacy of Srila Prabhupada. It's the 44th disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada. So we're going to be spending the whole day focusing on the life and mission of His Divine Grace. Starting at 10 o'clock to 12:30, then we'll have kirtan throughout the day from 2 to 4:30, and that'll take us into the Sunday feast, and the Sunday feast will be dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So, Balabaja Prabhu will be speaking to us tonight on Govardhan Puja, and that'll take place right after. I'll introduce him when the time is right after we've done the rest of the prayers. After that, we will have circumambulation of the hill and then distribution of the prasad. So, I'd like to, would you like to, would you like to chant the Damodarastika prayers? Okay. We're going to bring the harmonium. Dr. Shaw, can you get the harmonium for that? And where is it? Okay, cool. You have the harmonium. Where did you put them on the altar?
Sachidanandarupam Lasakundaram Gokule Brajamanam Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasakundaram Gokule Brajamanam Anandarupam Jashoda Piyo Luka Lathavamaram Jashoda Piyo Luka Lathavamaram Paramishka Madhyantato Drutya Gopya Udatam Muhurnitra Jugmam Vijantam Kalam Poja Jumina Shatam Kanetram Muhusasakam Patririkam Kakanta Sthita Graiva Damodar Bhaktivanam Idrik Svaliravi Ananda Kundi Swapusham Nivajantam Akyavayantam Tadiye Sita Geshu Bhakta Jitava Tadiye Sita Geshu Bhakta Jitava Guna Deva Tastam Shadaviti Vande Ishtaram Sachidanam Nirupam Lasakundaram Gopule Brajamanam
and he gives you rain, but that's not necessary. And it's very simple logic. He said he's giving rain to the ocean. Reading, there's a warning if you don't worship Gobardhan Hill. I was speaking to our Yashua Prabhu this morning, and I said, you have to get here, because you remember what we said? If you don't worship Govardhan Hill, there are many snakes on Govardhan Hill, and they will bite you. So that's explained here also. From that day, Govardhan Puja has been going on and is known as Anakuta. So if you go to Vrindavan, people know Govardhan Puja as Anakuta. They say Anakuta or Anakuta. In all the temples of Vrindavan or outside of Vrindavan, huge quantities of food are prepared in this ceremony and are very sumptuously distributed to the general population. Sometimes the food is thrown to the crowds and they enjoy collecting it off the ground. From this we can understand that prasadam offered to Krishna never becomes polluted or contaminated, even if it's thrown on the ground. The people therefore collect and eat it with great satisfaction. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, thus advised the cowherd men to stop the Indrajagya and begin the Govardhan Puja in order to chastise Indra. So at the beginning of this pastime, Indra, who was actually a devotee, had misunderstood who Krishna was. See, Krishna was not known as the personality of Godhead. In Vrindavan, he's this little boy. And all the residents, they love him so much. So Indra mistook him to be an ordinary little boy. In fact, he called him, a mischievous boy, talkative. He described Krishna as a talkative boy. You residents have changed the puja because of this talkative boy. So you can imagine where Indra's mindset was, So he didn't quite understand exactly who Krishna was. So Srila Prabhupada explained, nobody. Why did Krishna do it to Arjuna and the Pandavas who were banished? Why did he do it to this one? You can go through the list. Haridas Thakur, the list goes on. All great devotees. In their case, he did it so they could show us that Krishna is more important than anything in life. Even my health, my happiness, position in life, Krishna is more important than all of these things. So with Indra, he wanted to bring Indra back to his proper understanding. So to do that, he acted in such a way to make Indra angry. And we know in the next part of the pastime, Indra becomes so angry that he calls for a particular kind of cloud. And that cloud is called the Samvartika. The kids all know Samvartika. And that cloud is only employed at the time of devastation of the creation. So he told the clouds, go there, inundate the whole place. I want to finish these Vrindavan residents. Can you imagine that mindset? I want to finish all these people who are following Krishna. Because he didn't remember that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the clouds came, the rain came. It was a very intense situation. And like you say, some of you have been to Vrindavan, you've seen Gobardhan Hill. Krishna, as a little boy, took his left finger, the little finger on the left hand, and he picked up that hill. This morning I sent around a nice video. It's a beautiful drone parikrama of Govardhan Hill. And if you come from this side, which is Kusum Sarovar, you can see that Kusum Sarovar, beautiful place. And you look this way, Govardhan Hill is really long. It's not some small thing. He picked it up with his little finger and held it up for how many days?
7 days. 7 days, 7 nights.
7 days, 7 nights. These kids are amazing. And everybody, Krishna said, okay, now everybody come under the hill. It's raining like anything, storm is coming like anything. Everyone come under the hill. But you can imagine this, what? This little boy's gonna hold the hill up? They were nervous. They were not so confident to go under that hill. So Krishna said, no, I will take care. Just come under the hill. So finally, their faith increased and they came under the hill. So follow that logic. Sometimes we doubt Krishna. So we don't surrender as much because we're not sure if Krishna's going to take care of us. He's telling us, I will take care of you. My devotee is never vanquished. He mentions in Bhagavad Gita, I think 9:31 or 30 or something like that. My devotee is never vanquished. But to have that kind of faith that Krishna will protect us in every circumstance is not ordinary faith. For the neophyte devotee, the more inexperienced devotees, we don't have that kind of faith. The faith of a neophyte devotee is like water on a lotus leaf, like a lotus. You put water, it can fall off any time. So the neophyte devotee's faith can fall at any time. So there's an effort to increase that faith. How do you increase your faith? By associating with devotees who have faith. And then you hear about the Lord from those devotees and you build more faith. So Krishna's holding up the hill like this, huge hill. Not like a rock or, on it. Can you imagine? You can't even imagine it. If you've seen Govardhan Hill, you cannot imagine a little 5-year-old boy holding it up. So you can sympathize with the residents of Vrindavan, why they didn't immediately run under that hill. They said, we're not sure. So finally they came under the hill, as the children said, for 7 days. And they were looking at Krishna. But what happened was, the hill was steady until Krishna saw the gopis. And then the hill shook. So this big Gobardhan Hill now is shaking. They were doubtful in the beginning, now they're really doubtful. Because now the hill is shaking. They don't know that Krishna's looking at the gopis. The only person who knew was Balaram. And Balaram said, no problem, he's okay. So the cowherd men, just to show you where their faith was, when the hill shook, faith went down, they put their sticks up to try to make sure the hill wouldn't fall.
And then
Faith
the
is
sticks
not
broke.
And the sticks broke. So they were not ready to give full surrender yet, but they were already full surrendered because they were all the residents of Vrindavan. This is all Krishna's Leela, this mystical pastime. They were in this yoga maya, so they could do this pastime with Krishna. So they were like still doubtful, but somehow or another, they finally just gave in. So the meditation I had was not comparing Srila Prabhupada to this pastime or Gobardhan Hill or anything like that, but we sometimes hesitate to fully surrender to Srila Prabhupada. It's like the residents of Vrindavan, they hesitated because they looked at Krishna as a little boy. So you can imagine when Srila Prabhupada first came here in 1965 and the people who came to him looking at an old man from India and trying to figure out, he's talking about this and surrender. They're like, I don't know. He's an old man. What does he have? Like Prabhupada would say, I had nothing. I didn't bribe anybody. I had no money. I had no prasadam. At one point he said, I didn't even have mridanga, nothing. So they're looking at him trying to figure him out. But then gradually some devotees developed faith. And they came closer and surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. And this movement is built on that faith. Whatever we're experiencing now is built on that initial leap of faith of those devotees who looked at Prabhupada. There's one description when Prabhupada was walking, he looked like a genie. He had little rubber shoes and walking in New York. He didn't have a proper jacket, nothing. But those devotees took that leap of faith. The residents of Vrindavan, they did what? They took a leap of faith, went under that hill, and they were protected. So those original devotees took that leap of faith, went under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and guess what? We're all sitting here now. Had they not done that, we would not be sitting here right now. There would be no ISKCON. There would nothing. So in remembering this pastime of Govardhan Puja, Krishna lifting the hill to demonstrate to the devotees, I will protect you. Keep in mind that Srila Prabhupada gave us that same idea. If you follow what he gave us, he said, you will go back to Godhead. It's hard to believe it, but it'll happen. If we follow what Srila Prabhupada gave us. So this is a very important weekend. We'll discuss some more on Sunday, but this is observing Srila Prabhupada's passing away from the world. It's bittersweet. This is Govardhan Puja, is joyous. But then we remember Prabhupada passed away. For those of us who were around at that time, right, Dinadaya? It was a very difficult time, extremely difficult time. So we'll talk about that on Sunday, but it's very important that we give our heart and soul to Srila Prabhupada. He gave us this Gobardhan Puja that we're celebrating so joyously. He gave us everything. So it's up to us to give back to him, number one, by working together. He said, the test of your love will be, after my departure, how well you cooperate. So we have to show Srila Prabhupada that we are going to figure out how we can work together even more to make this movement successful. So we want to surrender to Srila Prabhupada, full faith, as the residents of Vrindavan did on the Govardhan Hill, even though they were hesitating. Most of us hesitate to fully surrender. We just don't know yet if this is really it. But it is. We're already backing to Godhead because wherever there's Krishna is a spiritual world. But we just haven't remembered that. We don't remember that. So let us increase our faith in Srila Prabhupada. Number one, by hearing from him. And you can say number two, by associating with those who have faith in Srila Prabhupada. And then gradually building our faith and trust in him. And our love will increase in Krishna consciousness. So this auspicious day of Govardhan Puja, now we get a chance to circumambulate the Govardhan Hill. And if you're lucky, you'll get a little prasadam from Govardhan Hill. For me, I sneak around and I steal from the hill. So, but make sure we circumambulate at least 3 times this Govardhan Puja. So thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Govardhan Puja ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Ballabhadra Prabhu, for these important instructions on this wonderful pastime, Govardhan Leela. We are going to now offer puja to Gobardhan Hill. As I said earlier, we actually have Gobardhan Hill. Gobardhan Hill is here. We have Kanayat, Dalji, and other Sangeeta's deities, Govardhan Shivas. So we'll be worshiping them and circumambulating them. Doing the puja tonight is Mother Krishna Priya. It was her birthday this past week. Haribo! And her and her family sponsored the festival tonight as well. So we're very grateful for them. And so we're all going to rise. We're going to get up. And Mother Revati, she's going to lead the kirtan during the Gobardhan Puja. Giri Govardhan ki!
Om Shri all glories to the Sambal devotee. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All to Shri
God, do that to me ever in my life. I love
After this, Mr. Shah. People want to sing it. You can stay on. Is it okay if I get something else to do? Or do you want me to? See, it's real strong. Shri Giri Gobardhan ki. Again, thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate this wonderful occasion of Gobardhan Puja, a festival that has been celebrated since the time of Lord Krishna. So, the prasadam from the hill and that was in the offering is being served outside when you walk out the doors. There is a tent with some seats in, with some heat. It's not enough for everybody, but we figured maybe some people want to stay. I know some people probably want to go. So there's something for everybody. But we can't take prasadam in the temple, in this building or inside, we should say inside total. So it's either outside or you can take it with you and honor it when you go back to your home. Tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Rittenhouse Square, we invite you all to come for a Harinam Sankirtan. We'll be doing Kirtan at Rittenhouse Square, it's 18th and Market Street. We'll be there from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. A wonderful experience to be able to share what we were feeling today with the public outside. So I hope you can join us again 2 o'clock at Rittenhouse Square, 18th and Market Streets. And then Sunday, please come for our day of honoring Srila Prabhupada. It's the 45th anniversary of his disappearance. We have a program at 10 o'clock to 12:30 with a lunch afterwards, a shop and lunch afterwards. 2:30 to 4:30 will be kirtans, and then there'll be the Sunday feast starting at 4:30, and that'll be dedicated to Srila Prabhupada. So we hope to see you all throughout this weekend. Again, have a wonderful Gobardhan Puja, and happy Diwali to everyone. Hare Krishna.